Hey guys, picked up a well, no, I didn't pick it up. It arrived in the mail today. They just sound like they might be loose, but I'm going to give it a shot. It's from Zavvi. It's right here. I'm going to go ahead and open it. It's kind of to make up for the two that they refunded my money on. I haven't been able to upload that video yet, but you'll see what I'm talking about when I finally am able to do it. Okay, double packaged. Oh, sort of. Not really. No, it's not. Okay, so. Yeah, it sounds like the disc might be loose, but I'm going to be okay with it. One of my favorite shows growing up, one of my videos for the Batman set, I made a comment that, there wasn't a lot on back in those days. You had 3 channels, and there wasn't a lot on for kids, but somebody corrected me. And when they did, I was reminded of things like The Lone Ranger over here. Can't see that. And The Wild Wild West, which was a little later than Batman, but this one was on. And also, what was the other ones? The Land of the Giants, which is pretty good. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which was a pretty good show. Or Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Sorry, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. 20,000 Leagues is a movie. All by Irwin Allen, as is this. And this was my favorite of all the Irwin Allens. I liked it the best for a lot of reasons. And so it's the Time Tunnel. Irwin Allen's The Time Tunnel. The complete series, both the first and second season. And I paid, the nice thing about Zavvi is I paid for both seasons what I would have paid for just one of the seasons here in the U.S. So good on you, Zavvi. And I imagine it's the same set. I can't imagine. There's some special features like the unaired pilot episode, the original version, a 2002 unaired TV pilot, the Time Travelers TV movie, a coming up montage, cast interviews, Irwin Allen's behind the scenes home movies, a UK edit with no audio, promotional TV and radio spots, visual effects, camera tests, no audio, stills galleries, and the original US broadcast information. So this amounts to, what is it? 23 hours worth of stuff. That's the beauty about these TV shows. You can get so much stuff, so many hours worth of entertainment, versus a movie, which is good, but I'm taking the wrapping off as I'm speaking. Good, but not quite as good as this. Now let's hope the discs are in here. I hear them. So, okay, one is loose, but it doesn't look like it's a problem. It's not marked, so that's good. Let me put that back where it goes, and all the pieces look intact here. So, as far as I can tell, yeah, it just came out because it came a few thousand miles. This part goes in here. Kind of came out during shipping, but that's not a problem. I see the issue. Yeah, it goes right back in here. Just have to push it back in. Let me do that. Yeah, snaps right back in place. Problem there. See anything else loose? This is loose, but that's going to snap right back in here, which it did. And then these came off, but they go like this. They're not marked at all. I'm getting there, folks. And this one came off, and that goes here. Yeah, very good. And that should hold up now. Now that it's not trailing any further. Yeah. All right, so now that I did all that, let me open it up and just show you what the inside looks like. The inside looks like this. It's got this kind of a setup, which is fine by me. I treat these things pretty gingerly. There's no like book here, but each one of these, if you can see, like that says The Revenge of Robin Hood. So that gives me some idea what's going on. Visitors from Beyond the Stars, The Ghost of Nero. Some of these I'm not going to be able to know until I watch them, but I can tell you I liked all of these. There wasn't one I didn't really like. So I think I'll be pretty happy. And this one looks like it might be a little loose here. It's like one of these little things might have come off, but that's going to hold on there because the other one's there. All right, so I'm all good. I'm all good, folks. The Time Tunnel. There's the spine. What was the premise of the Time Tunnel, you ask? Okay, I'll tell you. Sorry. I assume that people know what this is, but there's these scientists that have created this time tunnel, and it's meant to be able to bridge, the time barrier and be able to go either into the future or to the past. And it's sponsored by the government. And the first episode has a general come and say, or maybe it's a congressman, some sort of a egghead from Washington, who says, we're not going to fund this anymore. We've spent tons of money. And the set is really elaborate. It's this huge time tunnel that they actually walk into. And it's really sweet. Google it. Or we put it on YouTube and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the time tunnel kind of looks like this. It's this big, like hypnotic looking thing. But they actually walk into it. And as they walk into it and they activate it, like sparks fly and smoke comes up. And then they go through time. But in the first episode, not so much. It isn't working. And they haven't been able to get it to work. Although one of the scientists says, I think I'm pretty close. Let's see, it's Dr. Tony Newman and Dr. Doug Phillips. Doug, I think, is the one who thinks he's close. And Tony's kind of in charge of the project. He says, no, we're not that close. And he says, well, we're going to shut you down. We're going to shut you down. You've got like 24 hours to show me something, or we're shutting you down. Well, Doug decides to take it upon himself to try it, and he goes into time. And then he's stuck there. And now the question is, okay, we got him there. How do we bring him back? And so they're going to send Tony, the other doctor, in to try to get him, to try to find him. And they explained to the senator general person that we can trace him by some particles that are in the time tunnel that we keep track of in the computers. And it's this big elaborate computer system, which to us now looks like, it's like the red and white dots flashing and the CRT, the old green CRT screens and stuff. But it's cool for the time. You gotta give it the time. Lee Merriweather of Catwoman fame and Miss America fame stars in this as well. So Doug and Tony, who are here, they go back in time. And, every episode's kind of similar, but I always loved them anyway as a kid. Similar in that they land back in time. They try to convince someone that, someone's going to kill President Lincoln, for instance. And nobody believes them. And they, how do you know that? What are you talking about? Well, we're from the future. Lock them up in jail. Every time. Lock them up in jail. Or, put them in that room and lock it. They're nuts. We'll let so-and-so deal with them. That's the general thing. And then either they find a way to escape, or there's somebody someplace who sort of half believes their story, who will say something to them like, well, I don't know if you're telling the truth or not, but I don't want to take a chance. You seem good enough to me. You seem like nice boys, that type of thing. I'm going to let you out. Or they get out. Or one of them, or a girl falls in love with them and lets them out. It's that type of a thing week after week. And the interesting thing about the time tunnel in all of Irwin Allen's shows was that at the beginning of each show, he would recap basically the whole thing. So it would be something like Tony Newman and Doug Phillips designed a time tunnel, but General Senator so-and-so questioned the ability. So Doug, on his own, travels into the time tunnel and finds himself on the Titanic. That's the first episode, by the way. Tony has to go and find him. Well, they find each other, but now how do they get back? And so these scientists are on a never-ending quest to try to get back to their own time. In the meanwhile, they'll be bounced from time to time in the time tunnel. So, funny thing is, they never really get back into the time tunnel. What happens is they find like a place they have to go to. It'll be some coordinates. And they can talk to them. They find a way to be able to communicate with them. Can't remember how anymore. I don't know if Tony has a communicator or what happens exactly, but somehow they find a way to be able to talk to them. Maybe actually through time, like just in the sky and stuff. I can't remember all that, but it's cool because so the general, not the one who came from Washington, but the general who's on site there. I'll show a picture of him. He was really cool too. He'll say to them, Doug, Tony, you got to get to such and such a place. That's where time's going to be activated, and then they have to make their way there, and at a certain time, and that's time triggers, and then they spin through time again and end up someplace else. So it's kind of like a quantum leap type thing. I think it's cooler than Quantum Leap in a lot of ways, but the same idea as Quantum Leap. This has 9 discs in the set. Yeah, it's nice. So let me read what it says here, and then I'll sign off. From the creative genius of Irwin Allen comes one of the most popular and original sci-fi shows of the 1960s, starring James Darren and Robert Colbert. Yeah, you see. The control of time is potentially the most valuable treasure that man will ever find, or so believe the scientists of Project Tic-Toc. Located beneath the Arizona desert, the 10-year project's focus is the feasibility of time travel. But when the government reconsiders the project, the scientists have only 24 hours to prove their untested time tunnel will actually work. Determined to save the project, Dr. Tony Newman and Dr. Doug Phillips go through the tunnel. Well, actually, one of them does. I can't remember which one it is. It might be Tony that goes through, and then Doug has to save him. Doesn't matter. And quickly find themselves catapulted from one historical event to another, barely escaping with their lives as their colleagues back in Arizona race to figure out a way to bring them back home. And that is the plot of all 30 episodes of the classic sci-fi series, 23 hours worth. I'm going to love watching this. It is on Hulu, but I wanted the extras and I wanted to have it. And for like $20, why not? Real sharp set, though. It'll have a fine place in my sci-fi portion of my collection. And I will enjoy watching this over again. It's the kind of show that, I haven't seen it in years. I did watch 1 or 2 episodes on Hulu to remind me of how much I liked it, and I like it. And Lincoln, Robin Hood, it's like the Star Trek thing, when they go into the sometimes my brain just the holodeck. Sorry, it's kind of like that kind of an experience, sort of. Only they're really in history. They really are at the Kennedy assassination or Lincoln assassination, or the Titanic, or wherever. And most of the time where they go is not a good place. And most of the time where they go, it's some sort of an historic event. And they may, I can't remember exactly, but they may have something to do with how time travel works in here, that they keep being catapulted to historical times, to momentous times, whether it be Custer's last stand or Lincoln. Somehow time works that way, that it takes them to key moments in history as opposed to just some day in July in 1932. It'll take them to Pearl Harbor. It'll take them to those kind of places. Or Pearl Harbor will be in the next day or 2 days away or that type of thing. Anyway, great series. So glad I have it. Really happy, and thank you, Zabby. That's it, guys. Oh, I'm traveling to Memphis, so I'll be gone for a while. I have some stuff to upload, which I'll try from Memphis, but a business trip takes me until, I won't be back till Friday night. But we'll see if I can upload or maybe even make a video while I'm there. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you soon.